Yo, hustlers, welcome back to another episode of the HustlePedia podcast.
Yo, today we have someone who has gone from door-to-door sales in Saskatchewan, walking around in absolute prairie, trying to get people to buy things, to creating a community here in Edmonton, and is on his path to make a great name for himself. Roman, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. The first question today I want to ask you is, we're going to get into your story and where you came from, because I know you're an immigrant from Ukraine, and all the stuff that's going on right now. I want to know, when did you first come here?
Yeah. So I came to Canada in 2012. In December, so it's been about 9 years, almost 10 years.
How old are you right now?
I'm 22.
Oh, okay.
22. I came here with my parents, my sister, her family. The rest of my family stayed behind.
They stayed in where?
In Ukraine.
Where?
What city?
Kiev?
Actually, most of my family's from Kiev.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with everything going on right now,
it must be tough. Yeah.
It's it's a lot of people are under a lot of pressure.
Right.
Well, you guys were still under pressure in 2012 from the Russian government, weren't you?
So
Just
I
not as much.
I was super lucky.
Yeah.
I left right before that happened, but it started like around that time in 2013.
No, yeah. Keep continuing with your story. Yeah, where like how you started out, where you came. Yeah.
So my parents, my dad was an entrepreneur for 17 years. He ran a business. They're building these type of bricks that are made of cement, and so he understood what was going on in the country, and he knew that there was no future and things were only getting worse. It's a beautiful country, like Ukraine. I love Ukraine. It's my home, but unfortunately, the politics and the economy isn't comparable to what we have here in Canada.
Would you say it's corrupt?
Oh,
really?
Big time.
Big time, hey.
Big time.
Mr. Zelensky?
Oh, I would probably.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You see all like the posts online, they're like glorifying him and saying all these good things about him. Do you see him like that?
See, the type of person I am, I don't know. I can't say I agree or disagree until I see the proof.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't trust what I'm seeing on social media because I don't know who is designing all those posts.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like a purpose to get a message.
It's propaganda.
Like propaganda,
Definitely.
just like
Yeah.
online propaganda.
Like you
It's
never
way
know.
easier.
Yeah,
Never know
you
the
never
truth,
know.
right? But yeah, so what do you like? Do you think the government in Ukraine is handling it well at the moment, or how? Because we don't know at the end of the day, you don't know what's happening till you hear from somebody who even has family there. So, what are your thoughts about how are they dealing with there?
So the people of Ukraine, I think they're being really strong with what's going on. Like I think there was a lot of doubt. A lot of people thought that if Russia attacked Ukraine, Ukraine being a smaller country, like being 1/3 of Russia, that Ukraine would just collapse within first few days.
Right.
They have lots of resistance.
Yeah, people thought they get wiped out.
I personally thought that as well.
Yeah.
They would just get steamrolled.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But they are like, because usually in a situation like this, the president usually runs out. The government's just not there to help the people.
They gave him the option.
And even the citizens are standing up, you see,
Yeah.
like they're giving guns to citizens to go and fight.
Yep. Yeah, like people are they're getting weapons, they're taking guns, they're going out and guarding.
Have you seen those videos of the citizens with the wooden guns practicing?
Yeah.
That's
I saw
insane. That is
I haven't
absolutely
seen that
insane. But yeah, like terrible things are going on. But I think the Russian government thought they were going to be in and out of there in like a week.
Right.
Well, obviously that's not happening because those guys, you guys are tough, man.
Yeah.
Definitely tough. Yeah.
Where do you think it's gonna go though? What do you think is gonna end up happening?
I mean, I have no idea, but I'll make a guess.
Yeah.
I think that it was if Ukraine can hold it for long enough, Russia's economy with all the sanctions is going to get worse and worse. To the point where it might not be
worth it
for Russia to keep going.
Right.
But if Ukraine isn't holding it up enough while these sanctions are sort of putting pressure on Russia, then maybe Russia could win. But I hope that Ukraine remains independent, so I can go back and see like my family, my home.
Yeah,
like
that
my life.
Lego. I saw a picture. You guys got this city block in Kiev. Kiev is how I say it, or is it?
Kiev, yeah.
Where it's all like yellow, green, and red homes and stuff.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Amazing. I would hate to see that get carpet bombed. I would hate to see that.
Ukraine's a beautiful city.
Oh yeah.
When was the last time you've been there?
2 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was there just 2 months ago.
Wait, so who from your family lives there? Like anybody close or?
Yeah, like my sister, my cousins.
Oh wow.
My nephew, my niece, my uncles, my aunts, like my friends. Like I have an entire life, like a network in Ukraine.
Right. So
Let me ask you, because I know the majority of the population is underground during the day. and at night because the bombings and stuff, right? And when they come up during the day after the curfew, it's like 32 hours or something like that. A curfew will be lifted, and then they can go to the shops and get food. And there's very few shops that are open. Most of them are boarded up, but the ones that are open, they only have like hard liquor, cigarettes, very little amount of things that are like necessary. Like, you know, you go to the grocery store and you find vegetables and stuff, that kind of thing isn't in the shelves down there. So how's your family managing that? Are you sending money back there, or what's going on?
Yeah.
So first, my sister specifically, and part of the one side of my family, luckily they are located in like western corner of Ukraine.
Oh, so they're far.
They're far, yeah.
Okay.
But she left to Kiev, from Kiev, in that last like 3-4 days.
Why?
Just because there's so much stuff going on in Kiev. It's just not safe.
Is there like any safe zones, or
I would say like you can't consider anything safe at this point.
Yeah.
Ukraine.
You don't know what
countries under invasion.
There's a lot of stuff that you're in the news, like they're doing this, like, you know, ceasefire and stuff, but
Yeah.
just it's not really working. I mean,
So
they end up exploiting it.
has moved to Kiev or
From
more
Kiev,
west?
From Kiev.
So she
more
originally
west.
lived in Kiev and then she
She
moved.
did, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. But they have a lot of food down there.
Oh.
But people in Kiev, like a lot of the parts of Ukraine, they're running out of food because like I've seen videos of soldiers, I think Russian soldiers, robbing some of the grocery stores, and you know, so it kind of depends on how good were you at preparing for this, like in the first few days. Is what defines how much food people actually have left.
similar to like the beginning of coronavirus when people were like stocking up toilet paper and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of compare it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I feel
it's people are panicking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're panicking, so it's like but the difference is right now it's hard to supply food and whatnot to Ukraine. That's the main challenge.
Yeah.
Getting stuff
and like
in
getting
there.
inside. Yeah. Because like Russia took the airspace, right?
No, it's just a no-fly zone, international no-fly zone.
Yeah, you can't fly there. Yeah. So
There's no planes going around. If there are planes in the sky, it's fighter jets and stuff. So
emotionally, how do you feel? Like, I mean, being from a country, like if my country was getting invaded at the moment, you know, having family back there, sure, you're also stressing, and there's not much you can do about it as a person sitting in a different country. So,
well,
like,
I would
how do you
disagree
do-
with that.
Why?
Because Zelensky has said, "Hey, if you want to come to the country, I will give you arms."
Yeah,
I mean,
Have you thought about that? Have you like be honest with me? Have you actually thought about it? Go in.
like the thought has come through my mind, but was more emotional
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than like an actual intention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know that I do have that option, but I wouldn't go.
Yeah, you can just speak a little bit closer.
Oh
to the mic,
yeah, my bad.
It's all good.
But you know, to answer your question about like how it feels emotionally, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, because at first, you know, when you see everything happening, you don't actually fully grasp what's going on, like the consequences, what people are going through. But then day by day, I started to realize, like every time I call my friends or text my family, they don't respond right away. There's a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The anxiety,
the
right?
emotion in those few moments. Hey,
Yeah,
wow.
because you don't know,
You
like
don't know.
Right.
like because there's all these bombings and shootings. That's one part of it, but then the other part is, for example, my sister, we're working on getting her from Ukraine to Poland, and the difficult part, it's that, you know, she has to leave her husband in order to go.
Why?
Why
he has
can't
to
her
stay?
husband go? Is she-
It's full mobilization, which
Oh, the sanctions.
they've-
They're.
Damn.
What is that? What is the word for that? Conscription.
yeah. So anybody from 18 to 60
Oh,
has to
the-
participate in war.
Okay. If you're a
Wow.
man, right? Like, is that okay? So you have to stay there no matter what.
Exactly.
And you mentioned before we threw the cameras on that you were going to Warsaw pretty
Yep.
soon. Is that trying to meet up with your sister? Is that the reason you're going?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to Warsaw, Poland, this week. Well, whenever people are going to be watching, it's probably going to be a different week. But I'll be going within a week from now. And the intention is to help her to get from Ukraine to Warsaw with 2 kids, because, you know, she's never traveled by herself to a different country with 2 kids, having to leave your husband. There's like it's a lot of
much. Yeah, 100%.
it's a lot to handle.
Must be tough.
So when you land in Warsaw, I'm just confused because she's coming from Ukraine. Are you gonna go get her, or is she just gonna come across the border?
So she was going to be taking a bus to get across the border.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm
okay.
gonna be waiting for her there.
Exactly.
Are there evacuation buses?
Some.
Okay.
But it's really tricky because there's shootings, so sometimes they can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of people wanting to get on those buses to cross the border, so it's very it's very high stress.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
Yeah.
because those are targets at the end of the day. Right?
Have you guys seen pictures of people boarding the trains in Ukraine?
Yes,
Yeah.
packed.
It's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed. Yeah, there was a lot of news about that, and people like even now, like I know it's kind of off topic, but even the racism still going on there with like people being colored
Yeah,
and
I
not being
saw
allowed.
that.
I was reading something about that.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
messed up to see something like that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Even.
Does your sister already have like housing arrangements for her in Warsaw?
Yeah, for the first 5 days she does, and then I'm gonna have to figure out the rest. Like once I
Oh.
land.
But is there a reason you can't bring her to Canada, or like you guys can't?
It's
Well,
difficult,
yeah,
you
it's
know. Like it's a process. It's a difficult process. However, right now has announced, they made an announcement that they're gonna make it easier for people to become refugees,
Right.
claim a refugee status in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So that's promising.
Oh, that's good to hear.
But the Polish people are very welcoming. There's like tons of them just offering their houses to house the refugees.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to it. Like Poland and Ukraine,
They're like,
we aren't that different.
yeah.
We aren't that different.
The Polish people have been very very welcoming. I've seen like a bunch of stuff about them offering their houses to house the Ukrainian refugees.
Yeah, like Polish people have really stepped it up for Ukrainians. Like the amount of refugees they've accepted, like welcomed. I heard it's close
Isn't it
to
500?
1 million.
Yeah, that's an insane amount.
Crazy.
Think about it. Like
That's
that's
a lot.
a lot of like resources to allocate.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're only like a 33 million population country, so that's like insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's like the whole city of Edmonton walking across the border.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
a, that's,
that
a, that's
literally
a
the whole-
perfect analogy.
Yeah, the whole city of Edmonton walking across the border.
Wow.
All picking a house.
Walking, that's the key thing. Literally, like some people actually walk the border.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, like definitely because. I mean I gotta think personally. If my country's getting invaded, Poland's right there, and I wanted to get across the border, it's pretty obvious if I hop in a van. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a little
Yeah.
stealthy with it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have some plane come by and just, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah.
You gotta be
seen-
careful.
I've seen the videos. Viewers probably know I want to be a pilot, and this Ghost of Kiev guy has been. Oh, he's so cool.
Yeah, I wonder if that's real. You know, because that's really impressive if it is.
Yeah, they're
6
saying he's real. They're
I think
saying-
he's real.
Yeah, he has
I
an
think he's
ace. Hey,
Yeah.
ace.
Does-
6
does he?
confirmed kills. Yeah,
You probably know more about him than I do.
6 confirmed Russian jets.
6.
6 in one day, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, like it was literally the first, like the
Yeah, the
very
first day
beginning of
of
the
that
war.
time.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
and he's old. Hey,
He's still alive, right?
he's like 60.
Yeah, I
I
think
think,
he's
He's alive,
so.
right? I don't.
I think so. He
I
might-
read somewhere that they shot his jet, but he was able, like he survived and he got a new.
Damn.
Yeah.
Got a new.
You never know
This guy's
what's
playing
true.
Call of
My
Duty.
man.
Man.
You never know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
Again,
there's-
you don't know the information that's being passed around.
Yeah,
right?
you know,
it can
you're
be
seeing
propaganda,
Instagram,
you
You're
know,
seeing all
like-
these people, right? You don't know what's really going on. But like you've been seeing actual people posting TikTok videos of what's actually happening. There's a bunch of TikTok videos of like bombs coming down and all
Right.
that stuff, and it's scary to see.
It's actually no.
Like, there's
it's
crazy
it's-
videos. Like
Yeah.
the one with the tank runs over the car.
The
Yeah.
car,
It's
yeah,
terrible.
that one
Yeah, I
was
saw
messed
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Have
one
you
is
seen the
messed
one
up.
where the plane comes in right over the apartments and just 2 missiles right
Yeah.
into the compound?
It's insane.
Like,
But even the
Like-
the thing you're talking about,
Yeah.
the tank going over the car,
Yeah.
people are like claiming that's not a Russian tank, it's a Ukrainian tank, and like
Like, yeah.
a lot of like lies and rumors going around, and it's like
the
you don't
one
know
thing
what
I
to
do
believe.
know for a fact though is that the Russian forces took over a nuclear power plant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was recent.
A day or two ago, and that really concerns me because you got to think. Because
Yeah.
originally I thought the whole point of the conflict is because they want Ukraine because they feel like they're Russian and they want them
They
to
don't
be a
want them
part
to
of
go to
Russia.
the- they don't want to go
and
to
they
the
don't
rest
want
of the
them to go to NATO. But then they'd start taking over the nuclear power plants, and then you're like, what's really the motive behind? You know what I mean?
There was multiple stories for that though, right?
Yeah, like sometimes you have no idea, right?
Yeah.
Like we only get we live across the world.
Exactly.
What we get here, it could be, I don't know, it could be so different from what's actually happening.
It could be
Right.
like 3 days old too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, another thing is maybe some soldiers within the Russian army decided to do it without being ordered to do that.
Yeah.
You actually never know why something happened unless you were the one involved.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
literally.
Hard to
And
know,
there's-
like, if you're not there.
There's groups of rogue. Like I was DMing Roman here, and I sent him a page, and it's an Instagram account for this a group of Ukrainian guys who are obviously well trained, well equipped, know what they're doing, and they run around and they're like a little spec ops team that just does what they want, and they post terrible pictures and stuff. But there's a bunch of little rogue groups going around. It's like guerrilla warfare in a sense.
Yeah, like in like during wars, like some people they just let it out. Whatever they want to do, they allow themselves to just go at it, cause chaos, like even more chaos.
Yeah, the one thing I'm genuinely really worried about though is my worst fear is not the nukes, because the nukes is quick. Do you know what I mean? Everything's quick.
Extreme, yeah.
It's the autonomous warfare when they start putting C4s on drones, and they start throwing drones around. Because you got to think wars end because either an economy is crippled, there's a lack of motivation from one side, or someone just plain out wins, or too many people start dying and it gets too much of an issue. That's when wars stop. So, but when you start throwing drones with bombs at them each other, it's endless.
It's for sure.
And it's that's what's concerning me the most.
And the destruction too, it's massive.
Insane. Yeah. And oh man, like I remember I was looking at my Instagram and the video of those colored houses in Ukraine. I would actually I want to go there. Have you seen it? Blocks of like yellow. It looks like a Lego town. It looks so cool, man. I would definitely
check
go
it out
there.
after this show.
Yeah,
100%.
we're gonna check it out.
What's your guys' take on China in this? What do you guys think about
They've
that?
been quiet.
China said to Russia that like they don't support them.
They don't support it, no.
And that's why I read the news too.
And that's huge,
Yeah.
right? Like if
'cause
if China backed
yeah.
Russia, then it might just be GG. But
I think China is just sitting back and watching this happen.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if Russia cripples,
And China has way too much to lose.
they want to be the superpower at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So they are. If Russia gets crippled by what's happening with the economy, I mean, it's already in a pretty bad stage. So I think that China is probably benefiting off it. That's why they're just quiet, sitting
They hear
back.
sound.
And U.S. is the only one most involved in all the Western
And
countries.
Canada's very
Canada as
involved.
well, yeah.
And if
Yeah,
China
both
was to
countries-
get involved, like all of the imports and exports, if that's closed, like that's billions of dollars
Yeah, you
lost.
can
every
already see
single
oil
day.
like
Ukraine is
Yeah.
a very, very important like location for China because they have the modern day Silk Road and it passes through Ukraine.
Exactly.
It does,
They kinda-
right.
They do need Ukraine at the end of the day.
I saw the first day of the invasion, China put like 4 fighter jets into the Taiwanese
Taiwan,
airspace. Everybody freaked out.
Yeah, I
They were
remember
like,
that.
whoa. And obviously the US being the US, there's the Taiwan Canal right between the two.
Yeah.
There's Taiwan and then there's China. And then
Yeah.
there's a like very, very small body of water. The US put like a warship right through there just to be like, hey,
We're doing something. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't play games. But moving on from the war situation, because that can get a little bit emotional, I want to ask you, Roman, a little bit more about, because I know you're very close and you have a lot of relations with the U of A, and you do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. And I'm pretty sure you had something called Tune Up Home or
Turnip.
Turnip
I work
is
for
a company.
I work with Turnip.
Yeah, let's
Turn
just
Up
let's just
Home.
get
I
back
want-
to like your story.
I want
when you
to
started.
I want to ask about Turn Up Home and what's that all about, because I was doing some research about you before you came, and I was genuinely confused on what the whole idea is behind that. So if you could enlighten me, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys the story of how I started Turnip
Yeah.
Home. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of funny. So I worked for this company called Liberty Security, which was bought out by I think Garda World,
A security company.
a security company. And so when I was working at Liberty, I went on LinkedIn, and my regional manager on his LinkedIn had this tab that said that he is the owner or founder of Turnip Home. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, why? I thought he works only at Liberty. So then I talked to him. I asked him about the company. So at the time, it was something that was just a concept. It was just a concept. It was nothing yet.
It was in the works.
It was barely in the works. It was 2 founders. So after my finishing like my first summer of door knocking with Liberty Security, I met with the person that's the founder of Turnip, and I said, hey, like I'm 18. I just finished this. Well, 19 at the time. I just finished the summer of door knocking. I'm really intrigued by business. What can I do for you so that I can do something and challenge myself?
Okay.
And so with that like sort of ask, that brought me all the way from there, from like a dinner table, just asking to help, to becoming like one of the main managers at Turnip for like door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Did you work for free at the beginning, or did you get paid right away?
So in the beginning, the work I did, it was literally like they were testing different concepts, and I would come up with ideas.
Is
for
that
how
what you
they
say work?
work? Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't really work.
Yeah.
It was like meeting with somebody. I would meet with Henok, he's the founder of Turnip, for coffees like coffee.
You guys just brainstorm?
And just brainstorm. So I did that for a year, once a week, literally once a week.
Yeah.
And that's so no pay, just giving.
And what
giving
kind
value.
of, I'm failing to understand what kind of, what is the...
What Turnip? Yeah, what is
yeah,
Turnip?
what is it? Yeah.
So Turnip does residential and commercial security systems.
Okay.
So things like cameras, door sensors, like the alarm systems. We do that for businesses and homes, as well as those alert.
Oh, for the older
pendants.
people?
Yeah, like follow me. I fell. I can't get up.
Oh, I think I've
Yeah,
seen
you
them.
see that commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen those commercials. Yeah.
So that's what we do. I actually when I go door to door, I'll actually show people that commercial.
Yeah, you need one of those. Hey,
What?
one of those little I've fallen, I can't get up things.
Why?
I'm just joking, man.
Well,
Jeez.
that was not a good joke. I didn't like it.
So you're a higher up manager for the company, right? And so basically you just sell this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So my position, this moment, I do a couple things. So first is I interview and build like the sales, like I interview sales reps, potential sales reps, and I'll build the sales team. I'll train the sales team, and then I'll plan out the 4 or 5 months program.
Yeah.
Where what we do is we go door to door across usually Alberta, Saskatchewan, and we sell alarm systems. So my job in the summer is I run meetings with the sales team. And I map out the area. So if let's say you guys all work together, I would have to assign everybody a little map.
Okay.
Work in town.
Yeah. So kind of like a Property Stars kind of. Like
Yeah.
this is your area. Go knocking, and then come back
Bro,
at the end of the
I
day
work
kind
for
of thing.
property
Exactly.
stars, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more strict than that.
Right.
And I also, so as a manager, I don't just tell people like go out and do this. I
Yeah.
actually go out and door knock myself.
Stuff. Oh wow.
So I
Respect.
yeah.
You lead from the
You
front.
have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
No, 100%.
Yeah, love that.
What do you think? Like, door to door has shaped you as a person in your life today? Because I think it's like known as one of the old ways. People are like, oh no, nobody does door to door anymore. But I read a lot of Twitter, and people actually still believe it's one of the most impactful ways to really get sales down. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it is.
Yep. Well, you can look in 2 different ways. First is how it impacts you as the person who's door knocking, and second is what it does for the business that you're selling for. So I'll first talk about like the internal piece. I started door knocking when I was 18. So after my first year at university, I went to door knock, and in 4 months, in a period of 4 months, which was roughly like 110 days of door knocking, 8 hours a day. So I would knock roughly, let's say like 30, sometimes 40 doors a day,
You do a few blocks, yeah.
a few couple
Okay.
blocks. And if you multiply all those numbers together, you get, thousands of people that you get to talk to in the summertime.
Right.
So here's how it has impacted me. After door knocking for so many days, talking to so many people,
Yeah.
it's like you build this database of knowledge and reactions, right? That are learned through experience by door knocking, and you learn about social dynamics like in depth. It becomes ingrained in you.
Yeah, because you meet such a wide variety of people,
Yeah, like it's unexpected. Like you never know who's behind the door.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about door-to-door sales, unlike any other conversation, for 8 hours a day, every conversation you're starting with just one simple goal. How do I sell this alarm system? So every word you say, everything you do becomes about how do I show this person that they should get the system and have them get it right now and get it installed right after within that same day. So we do all of it at once.
Wow.
How do you deal with like days where like people are slamming doors in your face, or like you're trying to make a sale and you're just getting no like reception from them?
Yeah, the rejection.
Yeah, the rejection. How do you deal with that?
You know, it's funny, after you knock on so many doors,
It's like whatever.
you get so used to it. I mean, it always, like, there are always moments when it like moves you emotionally,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I have a system that I follow. To me, it's a numbers game. So I'm not so much focused on how people react to me. I mean, that's a good cue to understand like how well you're doing that day. But at the end of the day, it's about numbers, because I know that in order to get one sale, I should talk to, let's say, 15 people as an example.
Right.
So if the first 10 people have said no, I know I still need to talk to 5 people. You know, if I sold my assistant within the first 2 doors, I know that I'm probably going to have to knock on another like 30 doors to get another sale. But I'll quickly go back to like the original question. So the way it affected me personally, it was fast tracking through learning like communication skills and like human nature, and being able to act on it, like not just knowing it, but understanding to the point where I know what to do in any moment, right? So the second part is, how does, for example, as a business owner or somebody who wants to be in business, what is door knocking? Well, door knocking is the cheapest way to generate leads.
Right.
You don't have to spend very much money to generate leads. Door knocking, so it's one of the cheapest ways to get sales in the right business.
And exercise at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Why do you
because-
think it's so overlooked? Like, you know, people will have opinions. If somebody opens a door with a salesman, you know, like at the end of the day, everybody's working to get their money. So I'm just curious. I'm not into sales, so I'm just curious, why is it so looked down on in certain, like, why do people feel that way?
I think it's because there aren't enough people promoting it as something that's really impacted them. There are a lot of people complaining about their experience with door knocking, mainly because it wasn't for them.
Right.
So you have this, you know, let's say you have these like 100 people who've done door-to-door sales. Let's say 80% of those people, like 80 of those people, tried it, got nothing out of it. They've interpreted as something negative, as a negative experience. It was painful for them. So now they tell everybody that I made no money. It was
A waste of time.
it was a waste of time. That's how they feel about it.
Right.
But then you have 20% who actually got a lot out of it. And let's say 10% of those people, like so we have 20 people who got something out of it, and only 10 of those people made a lot of money. And there's only like a small percentage of people who actually got a lot out of it, and they aren't the type of person to go promote it.
Right.
You know, a lot of people who are successful, a lot of them are humble, I would say.
Right.
I just, so the reason, to answer your question, I think is because there aren't enough people promoting it, simply because of that.
Okay, Roman, I know, because you were in a management position, and I want to pick more of your management side here. I want to know, because you ran teams, right?
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of motivation you gave those people, because you have to have an intrinsic motivation to want to go sell. And was it the same kind of concept as like a car salesman, where the more sales they get, the more they'll get paid, or is it more of like a commission-based thing? I want to know, like.
Yeah, and our business is purely commission.
Oh, purely.
So it's like you have to bet on yourself.
Right.
You bet on yourself. You get paid a lot if you sell systems.
But if you don't,
But if you don't, like some people make like over 20 grand in a month. Like some people make like -2.
yeah, negative.
Not really. No, I'm joking.
I have to pay for the flyers.
Right? They're like for counseling after.
Yeah.
All the
With the gas money and all that.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like food, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, to answer your question, like what motivates people as a manager.
I want to know how you get your teams motivated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the very foundation in my mind, like in my perspective of motivating a sales team, is getting to know each salesperson individually
On a personal level, right?
on a personal level,
Okay.
and not just getting their goals in terms of how much money they want to make, but like asking the question why they want to do it, like you asking a ton of times to get as deep as possible to the core reason why they want to do it. Because sometimes, you know, somebody has this vision of being an entrepreneur, making millions of dollars. Well, if that's where you want to be, and right now you are a university, you are a first year student, and you haven't really like made any money in business yet, you should, you know, that could be a good reason to do door knocking.
Door to door. Hey, yeah, okay.
So every person on the team I'll get to know like one-on-one, in depth,
Right.
and their motivations. like on the very core level, and then we will align the job with those motivations.
Yeah.
Right.
So then every door knock, so you asked me the question, how do I deal with rejection? Well, because I had a really strong why, and because the people on the team have such a strong why individually, every door knock isn't like, I'm going to get rejected. It's more like, here's another opportunity for me to
more
take another
optimistic
step.
Yeah,
point,
and
yeah,
reach your
okay.
goal. Yeah.
So how did you personally get that like business entrepreneurship mindset in the first place?
For me, like, I think the way I grew up had a lot of influence.
Your dad?
My
You think a
parents,
lot?
yeah.
Okay.
Just you know, just the simple experience of being in a family where your parents are in business. Like my mom worked for my dad. I think subconsciously you kind of get wired as somebody who has normalized business.
Mhm.
But what got me into it was when I came to Canada. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Actually, when I came to Canada, within the first month of arriving or 2 months of arriving in Canada, I actually already went door knocking, shoveling snow.
Yeah.
You were the real
I didn't really know English very well at all, but I heard about people like making money that way.
You have to
So
get
I
on
thought,
to go shovel, hey?
yeah, and like for me, you know, you make like $20 per door.
Yeah.
For me, I haven't got used to the Canadian currency yet, so I would convert in my mind. So
It's like
like
60.
it was for you it's 20, but for me it's like hundreds.
Yeah,
In
you're
my
like,
mind.
oh, hey. like,
Yeah, stuck in that. You're thinking, oh,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
definitely.
go home, buy a bunch of pairs of shoes.
Literally,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I was like,
hilarious.
oh, I can buy all this. So first, literally, the within months of arriving, I already started to do something to earn money, and I would go pick berries in the summer to make cash.
Yeah.
You know, once I moved to Edmonton from Manitoba, what I do? Like I would flip, like I would find free furniture.
You'd flip it?
Yeah, and
Like paint it up, get it.
oh, I wouldn't do anything. Like I
Oh.
would just clean it up a little bit.
Put it 20 bucks more, 40 bucks.
There was a time when like I told my dad knew I was doing it.
Yeah.
He drove by a dumpster. He saw like
Oh my God.
like a table or something, like I don't know, some sort of a drawer.
No way.
And
brought it
he
home.
picked it up. He's like, I sold it the next day for $40.
Imagine selling Roman, like you have a cabinet you don't want, you sell it to Roman for $40. You look on Kijiji 2 hours later, it's up for 80.
Literally.
That's hilarious, bro. I love that. But another thing I want to give you props for is a lot of people in the business world like to take a bigger step back when they're running a business or in a management position and kind of watch from the back scenes and let the people that work for them work. So that's another reason why I gave you a fist pump there, because it really gives those salespeople that work for you. I know if I was in their position and I was getting rejected a bunch, but my manager is still going to houses, it would give me more motivation.
Yeah, definitely. Like
Yeah.
you're in the field with them, you know, so it's more like you're actually learning yourself. So what I'm wondering is, you know, when we spoke before, you love to inspire people and, you know, impact people. That was your biggest thing, like even when you do public speaking and stuff. So how important is it for you to like impact people in life in just general, any way possible, not just sales and, you know, let's take everything in life in general. Yeah.
Because you're a public speaker, right?
Yeah.
We'll get into that too,
now. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's so what I found in my life so far is there's nothing you could purchase, and when you purchase, like there's nothing you could purchase that's gonna give you a feeling that's gonna last forever, like for a long time. Like new clothes, a car, like whatever you get, like whatever.
Temporary happiness, right?
It'll
be temporary. A little bit of happy
it's
for a few
temporary,
days.
yeah. Like it comes and goes. So I never felt really driven by like purchasing things. What I find really special about like impacting other people in whatever way, like it doesn't have to be inspiring. It can be, you know, selling somebody something that's going to change their life.
Mm-hmm.
It could be giving advice. It could be giving somebody a ride, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool to be able to do something for somebody else, and that effort that you put into them growing like exponentially in returns. You know what I mean? Like for example, imagine just here's an example. Imagine you like one of your friends is an athlete, and I think maybe somebody in the room is. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like say somebody's actually taking really like really seriously, and one day for some reason they get really down on themselves, and they're confused about like their life and what they want to do, and then you are the one who helps them to like build a bridge from where they are now to you should keep going kind of thing, and then in 5 years they make it to pros. Like that small conversation for like 30 minutes, if it went that way, like that far, I think that's pretty amazing.
Right.
So that's what I like about influencing people. like not influencing, but just giving my time,
Doing something, yeah.
sometimes like without without expecting anything in
Expectation,
return.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
But don't you think like in an entrepreneur world, I mean, could be a stereotype. I'm not really an entrepreneur just yet, but I'm saying that you're supposed to. It's like a stereotype to be cold-hearted, right? Because people take advantage of you, and you're talking about being kind as a person. How do you depict that to like your entrepreneur? Like you want to be an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur right now. So how do you think that connects? Because people take advantage of anyway if you're too kind in the business, right? People tend to do.
How do you tell?
Yeah,
That's an interesting question. I mean, I'm the type of person that I will still prioritize what's on my to-do list,
Right.
like before anything else. Like I'll tell you guys this: when I go about my day, I have a list of things to do that I picked from the day before, and in case an idea comes up or somebody like sort of wants to take from my time, if I see that it's not going to fit in with what I have on my list, I will schedule it for the next day.
Okay.
Or I'll put on a separate list, like a list of things to do that I'll review on a different day. So I'll always make sure that I'm always like meeting my priorities
First.
Exactly. But the thing is, there's still time remaining to be generous with your time. So I don't think you're ever too busy to not be able to like help somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Just doing
Like you can do both. You can do both at once. I don't think you have to be cold necessarily. I think you have to be strategic
Cautious.
and
would you say?
cautious. Yeah. You have to be cautious and strategic.
Okay.
I mean, the good deeds do go a long way, right? Because like you said that you were doing stuff for Turnip Homes or Turnip, and then eventually you got a management position just from doing all the stuff for the boss.
the year, yeah.
So here's,
Yeah.
I'll share a thought with you. So you mentioned the kindness. I look at it differently. The way I see it is giving value.
Value, yeah.
I got advice like years ago from someone, and he told me like make a list of value that you can give someone. Like literally on your phone, you make a list of value you can give someone. For example, one of you guys runs audio, so that's your skill set. So that would be on your list. So when you meet someone like a stranger at an event, for example, and you find out they're starting a podcast, you already know that you can give them a bit of a head start.
Yeah, so like
by
some
giving-
pointers. Yeah.
by
Right.
giving audio tips. So for me, it's more about giving value. Because here's the thing: is if you're adding value around yourself everywhere you go, you aren't ever losing because you are increasing your own value.
Right.
That's
You know what I mean?
interesting.
True.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You're
True.
always increasing your value.
Yeah.
I also feel like too, if you go in with this whole like I have to be cold entrepreneur mindset,
Yeah.
then you might throw away opportunities before they come. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like say somebody, some businessman might be like, oh, this guy's kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give him the time of day. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes like you have to be extremely zoned in and focused. Like you aren't letting the entire world, like nobody in the world gets to enter your space for that period of time. But then on your normal days, I think it's important to like give value around yourself, because like if you always try to go by a plan, like because being cold or let's say like really zoned in business is equivalent to trying to calculate everything.
Right.
But I think we live in a world that's so unpredictable that while you're calculating your way ahead, you should also like look down.
You should have a margin of error, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
No. That's why I was wondering what are your thoughts on that. So how do you think entrepreneurship has brought freedom in your life? I know you were in. I don't know if you were in university and then did you end up finishing it or what was it?
No, I left my third year when the
Right.
pandemic started.
Why?
It's because for a couple of reasons. The reason I went to university in the first place wasn't because I wanted to get education. It was because I wanted to get an experience of meeting people, exploring, just experience in general.
Okay. So after the 3 years, you felt pretty fulfilled with the whole.
I felt
experience.
fulfilled, but then also like classes became
You didn't
online.
get to go in
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah.
It's like what kind of experience are you
And
getting?
your why was now not.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
University experience wasn't meeting my why anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that.
Would you say you're like always the type of person that likes to talk to people and meet new people and like conversate with new people like that?
Yeah, for the most part. Like I've always enjoyed meeting new people. I think year by year, the type of people I like meeting has changed, and it will keep changing. But I love I love sharing ideas
Mm.
and sharing information. That's why I love traveling. Like if you guys ever decide to travel,
Where have you been?
Yeah, I was
besides-
just gonna get into the travel
Hold on.
part, like your stories of travel. Like you were traveling for quite a bit, so you ended up coming back home. So tell us about travel stories, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. No, this year, like in the last just 2 months before this, I just got back from traveling.
Yeah.
I went to the States. I spent over a month in the States.
Where just
So I went to Chicago, Washington D.C.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas, Palm
Right.
Springs.
by yourself?
So I've went on different trips to the States.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I went to the States at first with a friend. Then went to Ukraine.
So these aren't consecutive.
They aren't.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
like flying, like
Back and forth,
a lot
back
of
and
flying around.
Okay. Yeah.
So first I went to with my friend to the States for about like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then went to Ukraine. Then went back to the States for a couple of weeks.
Like
and
the
I went,
States, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the state's such a big country. Every state is like its own
Its
culture,
own, yeah.
own thing, yeah.
Feel you.
its own climate and
Have
everything.
you been to Europe?
Well,
Besides Ukraine?
yeah, no, I haven't.
Like
but well, next week I'll be going
Poland.
to.
Yeah.
Poland.
You gotta tell me how Poland is, because I'm trying to go this summer too.
Oh yeah, I'll send pictures and
Send me pictures.
post my
yeah.
stories. Yeah,
But nowhere West Europe, like France, Spain, Italy.
I haven't. No, but that's
Oh.
on my to-do list. That's where I want to go next.
Okay.
That's my plan for the fall, but looks like I'm going there sooner.
Mm.
I might actually end up going from Poland to a different country because we haven't decided where my sister's gonna settle.
Right.
Oh, you don't know where though?
No,
That's
not
so
yet.
exciting.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna sit there and look at the map, spin the globe or something.
Yeah, right, that's what I was
Yeah. What's next?
But what do you think, like, being an entrepreneur has helped you travel? Because I feel like people, would love to have that freedom to travel, but school, work, all these kind of things are in people's lives, right? So how do you think of entrepreneurship, like you running your own business and being part of that and having that freedom, how important is that in your life personally?
I think working for commission.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had a job. Like I had a job when I was 18. My last job was when I was 18. Ever since then, I've worked for commission. I've started my own businesses, marketing, which I still do to this day. So the biggest thing that shifted for me, being like a business owner, I could say. Like I don't want to say entrepreneur because I'm not building anything new. I'm just
You're not building products.
yeah, I'm not building. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm running a sales team, and I do it as as a corporation for tax advantages, and I also do marketing and like public speaking. Right. So that's how. So everything, all the money I earn, it's commission. There's no guarantee. So the cool thing about that is, in my mind, I don't see money as something I couldn't get. It's something I feel like I could get money anytime, any day.
Yeah, well, it's not hard to get a lot of money if all you're focused on is getting a lot of money. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's true.
But looking at you, speaking to you right now, I can tell you're a guy that has obviously other focuses.
Yeah.
So when Lavanche asked the question, how has the freedom of being an entrepreneur helped you? When you go out, say you go out and travel, hypothetical situation, you go out and travel, and because you're not making any money, do you ever get anxious, like worried, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna have to work my ass off or something? Or does that idea of having to come home and work for it still excite you?
So the cool thing is, while I travel, I still make money.
Oh,
I still
okay,
make
this
money.
guy's cheeky.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, because I have like I still do marketing contract work.
Yeah.
So so I made an income on a monthly basis while I was traveling. And there's other things that I did to like gain, like crypto, for example. I have a couple miners.
Okay.
Right, so that's bringing some money.
Yeah.
But also what I do in the alarm business, the cool thing about it is I work for 6 months, really long hours, and I get paid for what I earned in the summer for the rest of the year.
Nice.
So I was fortunate enough to not have to be stressed and think about money while I was traveling. I could just enjoy my time.
Put 6 months in of hard work and then you get the rest. Just kind of, that's really relaxing, actually.
So do you think that the freedom of location
Trying to
is
hook me on?
like, so the online world, right? Like, see a lot of people that are into e-commerce sales, it's really trendy, especially on Twitter. You see that. So how do you think that the internet has like brought that freedom of location for people?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like the fact that people are able to make money from anywhere in the world with just a laptop. Like that was the dream 10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Like people wished that was a possibility, and now it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
I
And
think
a
it's
bunch of 20-year-olds just sitting anywhere in the world making so much money on a daily basis, but just any kind of internet thing, I think it's pretty fascinating. And it's doable for anybody that's watching, you know. There are people that are doing it, and you're doing it, traveling and making money. I think that's a lot of people's dream, but people worry too much. So there's definitely opportunities out there. I want to get into your LinkedIn and public speaking, because I know you're very involved with that. You know, even at the University of Alberta, you've had some few presentations and speaking. So how did you get into public speaking? And, you know, you're quite young as well, so people might be like, you know, you're too young to be doing public speaking. Cause
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are like,
yeah.
you know, like,
I
you're like
got
a
that.
4-year-old guy with like some experience and wisdom, but I'm sure you have a lot more experience. So how did you end up getting into public speaking?
Yeah, I when I was in my first year university, I started to leverage social media to get opportunities for myself. And within my first 2 years of university, I was able to get 3 different internships, and I didn't apply for a single one of them. They all came my way.
From LinkedIn.
Not just LinkedIn, but just being just networking and meeting
Okay.
people in face to face, but also online. So
So
with,
like people like offer you internships?
they did.
Did
They did. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was sweet, right? But so what happened is I got all these opportunities using LinkedIn and networking. And I noticed that people I was going to university with were struggling to get a single internship. So in my mind, like, you know, in my mind, you know, I was like, I'm gonna help these friends. I started to help them out and kind of share with them my strategies. And what happened is people started to get a lot of value out of it, and people started to refer me to their friends and tell their friends, hey, you should talk to him about it. Anyways, during my first year of university, I noticed a really high demand for like students learning to use LinkedIn to get jobs.
Yeah.
And instead of doing it one by one, I decided to do a presentation. I host my own presentation. So I found a spot to do it. I brought in roughly 40 people for my first presentation. I designed it on my own and everything. Did the presentation, people loved it, and they gave me the motivation to
Do more.
do more.
Okay.
But like my first presentations were going to high schools.
Yeah.
I'll go to high schools and show people, talk to high school students on how they can decide what they want to do in university.
Would you like in like assemblies or just like
So it was more
personal talks? Like big assemblies?
Classrooms.
Oh, classroom.
Yeah,
Okay.
during class.
and it was more of a career counseling thing.
Kinda.
Okay. Yeah.
Like career consulting, but in a presentation style.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
So how would you tell the viewers to leverage LinkedIn? Like quick tips in the podcast for people that are watching.
Cole's
'Cause I
notes
think
version.
that
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn it's complicated, definitely, right? And
It seems that way.
yeah. I mean, I
Oh.
personally want some advice as well from LinkedIn. You know, like it's more than just, you know, asking somebody to connect and following up with all that stuff. So how do you? What are some tips for people that are watching for how to leverage their network on LinkedIn?
Yeah, like assuming that this is a younger audience,
Yep.
I'll say that if you are looking to grow in your career, if you're looking for a way to do it fast, but also, you know, get a lot out of it, you should be getting in front of a lot of people in your industry. Like whatever you want to do, if it's accounting or finance or marketing, whatever your industry is, you want to get in front of people in that industry and meet them. Now, LinkedIn is the best way to do it right now because that's the only social media platform where you can, you know, have access to all these professionals so easily. It takes almost no effort. All you have to do is plug in Edmonton, Alberta, marketing, this company, and you get a list of all those people, and all you have to do is send them a message. And once you send them a
reach out,
message, you know, set up an interview where you actually interview them, right? Like not the other way around. You are the one interviewing them.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is if you do this with 10, 15 people within even like 3 months, which you could do within a week if you wanted to.
Wow.
What's going to happen is you're going to start to get known in that space, in that industry. And if you publish the interviews, you'll also get attention from other people. And that will attract opportunities.
Oh.
But don't you think people like? I mean, it's easier to connect, like, and there's so many like recruiters, anything like that. There are people. How do you go by approaching them? Because they're busy. You know, their time is more valuable than a student than an undergrad student. Like personally, like any of us, right?
Like there's
Reaching
no
out, there's
way
like
you just
hundreds of
text-
us probably reaching out to them. So
Yeah.
how do you stand out? How do you personally make an impact that they want to be on a call with you? They want to give you that advice because. I mean, time is valuable for
Yeah.
everybody. So
And there's
how do you
no
think
there's
about
no
that?
way you text them, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
So
you're not gonna do that. No,
yeah,
no,
personally, I think how did you make impact? Because so you said you landed 3 internships just off
So-
leveraging social media. Yeah.
So this is I want to go back to something you said, and that's the first misconception is that there are hundreds of people reaching out. The truth is,
Oh, so you disagree with that?
I disagree with that.
Oh, okay.
Think with if people are selling a service, a business, like whatever, like they're looking to get clients for sure. They're reaching out, but students reaching out to professionals, it's a rare
Doesn't
thing,
happen, hey.
especially in Edmonton. Yeah, like most students aren't doing it
Because they have that mindset.
because they have that mindset. They think
Oh, okay.
that their inbox is full. Or in fact, it's not true. When I did my presentations just for fun, before my presentation, like in the morning, I would myself reach out to somebody from Google in different countries
Yeah.
and see if I can get them to respond to my message before the presentation.
And they
Yeah.
would.
And half the time it would happen.
Wow.
Like it takes almost no effort.
Yeah.
I reached out to somebody. I remember I went to my friend's my friend's meeting that he invited me to, which was with BNI. It's this network organization. And during the meeting, they mentioned a name, Ivan Meisner. That's the founder. And they said a quote that he wrote. Anyways, I got intrigued, and just for fun, I decided to reach out to him on LinkedIn that same day. Now, the guy, Ivan Meisner, the organization he's built has over 200,000 members, active members, all around the world. They have generated almost $17 billion in referral revenue. The organization did. If you want to learn about it more, so this makes more sense, do it. But here's the key thing. Just for fun, I reached out to him, and he agreed to an interview.
Wow.
And I interviewed him. You know what I mean? So this is somebody like really high class, like really, really accomplished and known. But if you reach out to somebody locally, they get no messages, like almost no messages.
But how do you what is there a certain way to reach out to them, or just if you get an example to people that are watching of a simple message to anybody that's highly valuable, how do you reach out to them in the right manner, if you could?
So I'll give you the step-by-step process. So first is you want to define what is your intention. Are you looking to get a job in marketing? If that's the case, cool. Now, which companies offer those jobs? What is your dream company you want to work for? So once you've defined it, you go in the search bar and you punch in those parameters. Edmonton, Alberta, this company, this title. So now you're going to get a list of all these people. So the first thing you do is you pick, let's say, your first person. You go on their profile and you study their profile. Just like you would on Tinder,
Yeah. Do a little background research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get to understand who you're reaching out to,
Yeah.
so that you can tailor your message. Because if you can tailor your message, they're going to pay more attention.
Yeah, of course.
And when you are connecting, like you press connect, always add a note. Because if you don't add a note, you're going to be just like everybody else.
They might not connect back, and okay.
They don't know if you're going to waste their time or not.
Yeah.
But
So
if
what
you,
does the note include?
huh?
What should you say in that note?
So here's what I would say in my note. I would say something really basic like, hey, name, hope you're having a good day. My name is Roman. I'm a third year University of Alberta student majoring in, let's say, marketing. I noticed that you are working at company X and that you also went to U of A. I'm looking forward to connecting with you.
Oh, okay. And then it leaves the open door.
It leaves the open door.
Okay.
And then in the second message, so what's going to happen is they're going to connect with you. And usually they don't respond to your note just because of the way the notification system works. Because once they press connect back, they accept the connection request, sometimes they just miss out. They miss out they don't see the message.
Okay.
Or they forget to respond to it. So then you want to send another message that's a bit in more depth and explain your intention.
Why you want to connect with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then while also showing your knowledge of them. So if in that message I'll say, hey, I noticed that you started working at this company during this year, then moved into this position. I was really curious why you made a transition and how you actually got your first job. I would love to ask you a few questions in the form of an interview. I can over the phone, video, or even text, whatever works best for you. And you send that message and usually people respond to you.
So you think I would get responses even though I have zero experience or zero anything. If I shoot this like method to anybody, they would usually respond.
So here, the way I'm going to answer that is, so right now you're young and you're just starting your career. Imagine that it's been 10 years and you have already accomplished a lot in your career. No matter how much time passes, you will remember what it was like looking for your first job, being a grad, and how difficult it was to find a job. So when you're sending messages to these people, that's what they see a lot of the time. They see somebody that they used to be.
They can relate.
They can relate.
Yeah.
And because they can relate, they will help. Not
9
everybody.
times out of 10, yeah. 9 times out of 10, probably.
Yeah, like
obviously, you have a few people who, big egos don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Cold
high school
entrepreneur,
kids.
But they didn't have to
cold
do that.
Cold
entrepreneur.
entrepreneurs, right? Yeah.
Like, how important is it that your profile is good? Like, what are tips to improve your actual like personal profile? Like picture tips, what to put in like below the profile and stuff.
Yeah, it's no different than like the way you dress up when you go to a party or when when you're meeting and networking with people.
I'm building on that question, but I want to ask you how important it is for you and the idea of walking into a room completely yourself, and because you're a public speaker and whatnot, and you seem like a very genuine dude. I want to know, because a bunch of people out here think that maybe they have to throw on like a mask or pretend they're somebody they're not in order to get this kind of attention from people. How does that work for you, just walking in rooms being yourself?
Yeah, like with public speaking, a couple of things. First of all, impression management takes a lot of effort.
Okay, yeah.
Now, some people, they put in so much effort into managing how they're being perceived, it will take away from their ability to convey the message. See what I mean? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
What I do, and if you guys are ever public speaking, give this a try. When I walk into front of a room, and it's been a while, it's been 2 years because of the pandemic. But when I'm in front of a room of people, before I say a word, I look at everyone. I almost sort of like take it all in.
Like eye contact and
Okay. Like just almost like feel out the room.
Yeah.
And then just start speaking. So instead of focusing on having this perfect presentation that's thought through word by word, I first feel and read the room, and I allow the room to.
So like the last question we usually end up asking the guest is, what advice would you give yourself if you were just starting off, or a few years back? I mean, you're still quite young, you still got a long way to go in life. So, but anything you would tell yourself if let's just say you were 18.
Yeah, if I'm 18, like I think one thing I wish I understood better, like I knew this, but I didn't understand it well enough, is investing. Investing your money.
Like putting your money away?
I was not putting money away, but investing it. I'll give you a specific concept. So not just investing, but specific concept. So here's a principle that I'm following going forward always. I want to share with you guys. If you're working and earning money and you aren't spending most of your money, let's say if you're saving up like a lot of it, you want to ask yourself every year, like you want to figure out your expenses first and how much money you will actually need first every month, and how much money you'll need throughout the year. Then you want to predict how much you're going to make. And if you find out that half of the money you're going to make is going to be saved, look to invest it as soon as possible.
Right.
Because if, let's say, you were to save up to, let's say like over 2 years you want to save up, let's say 30 grand.
Yeah, okay.
So your first year save up 15, then you save up 15. If you take that $15,000 that you earned in that first year and you have already invested it that year, earning like a really average return, let's say like 8% or whatever, 9%, you're going to make over $1,000 on that money. But if you don't invest, you're going to lose interest. Like you're going to lose on inflation.
Right.
So like the biggest advice I would share with myself if I was 18 and everybody is, like I said, figure out how much you're going to be spending every month, how much you're going to be spending in a year, then figure out how much you're going to be earning that year approximately, and the money you've saved up, figure out how much of it you will actually need it and how much of it will just sit. And don't let it just sit, put it somewhere. Like you can lend money to real estate developers. You can put in the stock market and put a program so that it will sell at this price. You don't lose money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like don't let your money just sit.
Yeah.
Don't let it just sit.
Put it into things.
Put it into something. If you know that some part of your savings is you don't need it, like you're just gonna let it sit. Don't just let it sit. Put it somewhere.
ETFs, index funds, something like that.
Anything, yeah,
hey.
whatever you understand best.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Like, I'll give you an example. Imagine someone is 18, and they're a hard worker, and for the next let's say 3 years until they're 21, until they are like legal and can fly out to Vegas and spend all their money.
Vegas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, imagine they're saving up, let's say, 15 grand a year. So by the time they're 21, they have like, you know, close to 50 grand.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money. And it's like if somebody did that, like, congrats, like you are set. Like you're going to do well in your life. But if they invested that money every year for those 3 years,
it would compound.
It would have compounded. So they would have made like an extra like 4 grand, 5 grand off the interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, age it also makes a difference. Like, you know, like starting investing at 18 with a lower amount, and like you could do the math probably. I don't know the exact math, but if you start at 30 with the larger amount, you still make more because you started early, because that money adds up, and that's why they usually say that. Yeah.
Like I heard this saying. It was like the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is today.
Yeah.
It's today. You know, like the same with
compound interest is
go
the
invest
eighth
your
wonder of
money.
the world.
Everybody should go invest their money. That's why I tell, like, personally, like, because being in this, because this is something I want to create my future in. So like, it really, it's like, you know, really, like, even if you're not interested whatsoever in the markets, you don't have to be. Pick the safest option, put your money in, and forget about it, and keep adding it whenever you have savings. That's why I tell everybody I know, because it's like, you don't have to know the market specifically. There's very simple, safe options. One video and you're good. Just keep adding money and it'll add up, and you'll thank yourself in the next few years. And
it doesn't matter if it's a small amount. Like, I was so against it for a while because I thought, I don't have enough to put down. And Lavanche ended up yelling at me for a few hours, and then I put $20 in the stock market. So my first
literally, if you open a TFSA account and contribute $6,000 a year, after like 30 years, that's a couple $1 million.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, look at the inflation going.
You could retire of that.
You literally, you don't have to worry about even saving for retirement. You know,
it's just backup cash. So like, if you make, like, let's just say, you know, you add up and you're 35 and you want to start a business, you have that cash that was being saved when you were 18, and then use that forever. Leverage. You don't have to wait till retirement even. You know, you can use it for a business. You can invest that money, whatever you want to do with that. And, you know, and like life is unpredictable. So if you need that money, that being stored and growing while you're working in the background, even if this is not something you're super interested in, that's completely fine. But who doesn't like money, extra money at the end of the day? So if you've got that money, you do well for yourself.
So I think we've ran for a while now. It's been absolutely amazing talking to you, Roman.
Yeah,
been a great guy to talk to. Definitely has some pointers. All of his stuff will be in the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have our condolences with you because of your family being in a different country and going through all that. We'll definitely find some, you know, if you have any donations linked for Ukraine that we can put in our bios and stuff, or for HustlePedia, we're definitely gonna throw those in so people can donate, and they're, you know, thoroughly checked so they're not any kind of scams and stuff. But
if you're in Warsaw and you need a hand,
reach out to HustlePedia.
Even if we can't do much, we'll help you, man.
We'll help you. Yeah, we definitely feel. Yeah, we hope that your family does well being there, and, you know, you're also safe because you're going out.
Hopefully you could.
Yeah, I think that was overall a very good episode, and, you know, a lot of good pointers. Thank you for coming to the show, definitely, and I think make sure you guys hit
the like and subscribe button, because the more support we get, you know, the more the boulder will begin to roll. We'll be able to get more influential people on the podcast. Value for us, value for you guys watching. So it's a win-win situation. But
and there's so much more to come, right? Like, this is just a starting, and we've got so much more to bring to the table. And as time goes by, you guys will see as things unfold. This is bigger than a podcast, and I hope you guys are ready for what's coming next. You know, we've got a lot on the table.
Turn on notifications.
All of our socials are going to be in the description, including Roman's.
Yeah. Everybody's socials going to be
and
there.
Make sure to share it with everybody, your family, you know, your dog, you know, everybody.
Yeah, and show love to Ukraine.
Yeah, definitely support Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine.
Heroim Slava.
Yeah,
this guy knows.
Of course, man.
You know, he knows so many languages.
Yeah, he's Asian, but he's actually Slav.
Deep down,
yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in. You could be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you choose to be here watching us, and we appreciate that immensely. So for now, HustlePedia out.